interoperability. Let me get Dr. Rishi into the discussion. And Dr. Rishi, pleasure to have you. Dr. Rishi, we talk about AI, we're talking about quantum. So obviously you need people with the right skills to be able to work with these technologies. So I just wanted to get your perspective on what is that we should be doing as a nation, and what should industry be doing to make sure that we have the right level of skills to be able to take advantage of the potential of quantum, Dr. Rishi.
Thank you, Sunil. And I was just searching for the government official who spoke before us, so that at least he could have listened to what I'm saying. Because today, what China is saying, that they are able to develop a quantum communication network and spending around 12,000 square feet of area and a long distance of area where they are using quantum communication network. Okay? Japan has opened an institute in 2020, which is on the Quantum Institute. United States of America has spent billions of dollars in doing research. And that too not from yesterday, but from last 5-6 years. So last year, their spent on only research was more than $2 billion. Okay. That one part, and while we have just started in September 2024, we have been able to start with 4 hubs, that too only in the IITs, and they're just starting. That's the one major thing which is required, that we are late again. It's not that we are late this time, we have been late again. Okay? While we want to be a leader, we identified it as a mission, quantum mission level, and we created a team, but we are late again. And the amount of money we are spending on research, as per the data which he provided, only 150 researchers are currently doing research on quantum. Okay? That's too low a number for a country of our size and the opportunity of that level. Okay? The second thing is, in the United States of America, while the government is spending around $2 billion, there's a huge amount of money that has already been spent by Google, Microsoft, IBM, Amazon. They all are the private institutions. They are the companies which are investing huge amount of money in seeing what will the supercomputers of future, what the computing and things will be. So if I like to divide the overall the quantum computing as a technology into 3 areas. One is infrastructure, where we are talking about the supercomputers, we are talking about the memories, we are talking about the way the things will work in qubits. The second area is like Sai has just said, that we will require the way, some in-between layer, which will be able to communicate with the new kind of infrastructure and new kind of way of computing, and the current way of coding and the current codes, whether it's AI-based LLMs or whether it's different kind of applications. That means there is a need for that kind of algorithms required. The third is the application that will get developed. But while the government spoke about that they have been able to include the Department of Technology, Department of Telecommunication, MIT, this and that, I did not hear, and that might be my challenge, I did not hear the Department of Education. Okay? Because if the NCERT will continue talking about binary, and they will all say that there is another way of doing it, the children will only understand 0 and 1. And we are not preparing them to start understanding about the quantum computing. That means when we start thinking about a latest technology or a new technology where we are trying to do research, that means the day that one, the NCERT, which is preparing the books for the country, they should start working on creating a chapter at least that there is something called quantum computing. And the only institution which will start learning will be IISc Bangalore, IIT Madras, IIT Bombay, and maybe IIT Kanpur. And you will not find any second layer institution even been participating to these.
That's a great point, actually.
Yeah. And majority of the Indians do not study in IITs or IISc Bangalore. So what my thought is that while we are working on the technology, there's an opportunity for us to become a leader. It's an opportunity for us to become a leader, because majority of the people who might be working on research in IBM, Amazon, Google, all of these companies will be Indians, I can guarantee, without knowing their names. But again, we are not providing that infrastructure and that opportunity in our own country. And that will again put us behind, like in many other things. I am working on as an advisor in a company called Inverse AI, which is working on the Bharat GPT. Okay. And what we try to do is to create that 5 crore Indian manuscripts to be put into the data assets and creating an LM which is going to talk about the Indian Bharat GPT. Okay. So if you're going to go and check this, if you go and talk to the chat GPT and ask who started working on the atomic theory, they will say there was somebody called John McCarthy in United Kingdom which worked on this and started in 1800 something or 70 sometime. But if you're going to ask the Bharat GPT, that's going to say that 3,000 years back, there was a Maharishi Karnad who wrote in these books, these shlokas, which was talking about the atomic theory. And that's where the atomic theory started. Okay? Similar thing can be done for the medical science, similar thing can be done for the metallurgy, similar thing can be done for textiles, similar thing can be done for many other things. Because our history, our text tells about the kind of research that was done past in our country long back. And there's a time for us to see how can we change the narrative, which is the correct narrative with proofs. The chat GPT, which is taking the data sets from the Western world, or the DeepSeek, which is taking the data set from the Chinese way, they will not talk about Maharishi Karnad. They will not talk about the Dhanvantri. They will not talk about the kind of surgery that was done in India. But to me, this is a way, and this technology, new evolution of these technologies is a way to correct the narrative and tell the world what is truth. So when we think about the industry is still not participating, the larger institutions are still not participating. Even after so many years, we only have 20 startups. Okay, so that 20 is not making me feel happy, because we can have many more, because that's a huge opportunity. It's a huge opportunity. So there is a need for many of us sitting in this room, especially the policymakers, because they will have much more bigger view and bigger funds to spend for us to become a leader in this area. So.
Yeah, no, thanks. I think two great points that you brought out, Rishi, Doctor. One was the fact that you said that we are a little late, right? So we'll probably have to catch up. Second thing, the funding also. NQM is a 6,000 crore fund. If you just look at China spending almost $15 billion, EU spending about $3-4 billion, right? So there's a lot of investment still needed from India perspective. Second point, that very important point from skill standpoint, you said you can't be teaching 0 and 1 still at, you got to obviously go to the qubit level, and it has to start very early, right? And the fact that it's only the IITs and IISc which is doing the research, it has to go to the Tier 2, Tier 3 institutes. And so there's a lot of work that still needs to be done to take it to the other second-run institutes, right? So I think very good points. And just building on what Rishi said, and Vijay, I want to get to you, and